Hello and welcome to Chess Book Reviews. Today we're not going to do chess book reviews, we're going to do postcards. This is Postcards 64. And I'd mention chess book reviews in case you think you've come to the wrong place. This tells you that you haven't. The first card I'm going to show you does have a chess connection. This is the famous now. At the time, the notoriety was very small. It's Hut 6. Bletchley Park. So there is a chess connection with the England team, such as Hugh Alexander and Stuart Milner-Barry. And the cipher office says, there we are. Looks a bit dull, but of course it was vitally important to intercept what the Germans were saying. This is a lovely card. I bought this in Bournemouth a very, very long time ago. Let's see what it says. It says Norman C. Blammy, and it's called Proximity. And it's the Beecroft Art Gallery. To Southend, but I bought it in Bournemouth. Where the original is, I don't know. They both look very downcast, don't they? Let's see what he's doing. He's looking at a pillar of some sort. I'm not sure. Now, as kids, all of us enjoyed the Ladybird books, and here's one. This is a card from my friend Dave Breeze. It says, it's summer, so we look for another Michael Adams victory in the British Chess Championships. I told you there'd be references to chess. H.E. Atkins and F.D. Yates must be getting nervous. Going down, Harriet Hunt going up. Badana, what can you say but rock you? In other words, good luck. Well, that's rather nice. There we are. And I rock you too, Dave. Looks like we're back with Hut 6 again. Yes, we are. This is at Bletchley. This is the bomb control room with chart. Let me show you the back. You see all the little telephones by the side. There you are. This is something far more artistic. Demarcation. The Old Pier Steps, 1911. And it's won by Stanhope A. Forbes. And they are, they mention a French naturalist and finding inspiration in traditional village life. In other words, they're sticking to the old ways. Two ladies looking down. There we are. It's quite nice, isn't it? I like that. Here's something you may like more. This is Elizabeth Castle, about 1860. And I'm just trying to... It's a painting by George Wolfe. I suppose it's in France. Please excuse my ignorance, but I don't know. There's quite a lot happening on the beach. If you'll give it your time, I'll show you lots more. There we are. Cast your mind, cast your eye down to the lowest level. Good stuff, like that. Our local church. Bond Church, Old Church from the Isle of Wight. This picturesque and historic old church was built in 1070. Although the later church stands close by, the old church is still used occasionally for religious services. Good for them. It's nice to hear it. So there you are. Bond Church, Old Church in the Islay widget. Here's another church in a much better state of repair. In fact, it doesn't look like a church. It's halfway to being a sort of a store. I mean that in the best possible sense. Mown grass, some old gravestones at the Salute in the normal way. And this is at Elstead in West Sussex, St Paul's Church in Elstead. I don't know it, but nevertheless, there we are. This is one of these rather more dated cards where they put all the photographs together and hope, you know, and hope that nobody minds. This is Bournemouth Gardens. Somewhere I haven't been for a while and always keep on planning to, but I don't go. I know I should, but there we are. Show you once more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 photographs all snared up together. Here's something older. Oh, this is rather historic. This is the King. The King visiting Basingstoke in 1915, so during the First World War. Yes, he's visiting Basingstoke. I think to the right person that could be quite a special card. It's not in very good condition, so they put it in a plastic envelope. That meant I would have to pay a little bit more for it, which I don't mind at all. I like to play the game, where was this taken? Or even, what is this? Bastille de la Medlin. It's French, isn't it? That's Catholicism for you, I suppose. Don't mean that disrespectfully, but I do mean that. There we are. Oh, this is a card I've shown before. It's the Hampshire Oak and Ash. And it's taken by, or rather, Mervyn Good. Painting by Mervyn Good. And it's a Medici card, Medici Society. They do a lot of good and publish a lot of little cards. It's an old track and a footpath sign, the handpost on the right. I can never keep the card still, can I? Never mind. Looks like, I don't know if a storm is brewing. No, maybe not. Just fluffy clouds. That doesn't indicate rain. Presumably moisture retention as much as anything else. Yes, I really like it. Something dated. This is the Museum of Reading. I go there quite often, sometimes for coffee or buying cards like these, but also they change things around. I was going to go to a computers exhibition they had there. Nothing great, but you know, they put out some computers and a lot of information about the arrival of IT in the 1980s and 90s. And I said to my friend Nicola, well, you know, we must go back here. I waited and I waited. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? When I went back, it wasn't there anymore. They changed it round. Well, that's their prerogative, but it was a shame. I had a look round at what there was, which is an enormous amount. Of course it is. Hartley and Palmer's biscuits factory was there, and I used to work there. This is Monet's garden. It has some French, but I won't attempt to read the French. A weeping willow and a pond and some roses, I think. In fact, some roses I know. It's at Giverny. There we are. And there he is up in the corner with his hat on. Now, don't go to sleep. There's only about 3 or 4 more cards to go. Oh, no, this might not. Look at this. Portrait of Hilda. It's pencil on paper. And this is done by one of my all-time favourite artists, Stanley Spencer. And it's in the Scottish National Art Gallery in Edinburgh, where I've presumably been about 40 years ago. Although I have to be honest, it wasn't one of my happiest trips. Once again, here's Hilda by Stanley Spencer. This is almost Christmassy, isn't it? Petersfield Physic Garden. Oh, so it's not Christmassy at all. There's a sundial, there's a seat, there's a wall, which I was just about to say was flint, but I'm not sure it is. And 2 rather threadbare trees at the back, which you could do with some foliage, but it's not entirely stick-like, are they? That's quite good. Here's something a little bit more betterer. What do you make of this? Of course, your eyes fly not to the picture, I suppose, but to the writing underneath, which is presumably in Latin. Rufus, that's the Rufus stone. Yes. I should have the confidence and the ability of neither to translate it. It's a Roman tombstone. Rufus site, a cavalryman from the 6th cohort of Thracians. I thought it was something to do with William the Conqueror, but it's nothing of the sort. It's an English Life publication, Limited, Derby. They were the printers. And it's a Roman tombstone, which is now in Gloucester. I'll show you again, because I was confusing the issue, wasn't I? Should have checked up in advance. Well, he's on a horse, and he's got a spear, and a sword in a scabbard. And he's attacking somebody who's prostrate on the floor. And I've got news for him. I think that the horse did for his enemy almost, if not completely, before he got there with any of his weapons. There we are. Show you once again. Somebody's had the forethought to put the writing in red. Here's somewhere I go very frequently for coffee and looking for books, Winchester Cathedral. The cathedral from the southeast, William of Wykeham. Hence the scholars being called Wykhamists. Bottom, the nave and screen, Cheney Court. It's produced by Chris Andrews Publication of Oxford. It's a very nice card. Some of these are a bit too thin, others are badly reproduced, but this I give the full thumbs up to. It's really nice, isn't it? There. It's quite an old card. I say at sight it's Tudor. It's the World's Gallery series. I didn't even bother to say who it is. Oh, I apologise. Portrait of a Gentleman. And it's by Holbein. Who rose very, very impressively in society. If you could paint as well as that, so would you. Oh, he looks in. He was confident without being cocky. And he's got, I think, a purse of money. And underneath his hand is, it almost looks like samples of material. Maybe it's more bags. And he's also clutching a book. And it says that in the year 1541. So it's well into the time of the Tudors. Etatis. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. A gentleman. Anyway, it's by Hans Holbein. This says it's Ironbridge. It's a much more modern card. A dramatic entrance building to Blist Hill Victorian Town. The Ironbridge Museums in Telford. Colebrookdale. Birthplace of industry. How about that? Well, it might be dark, but it's nice. Well, thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe down below. Cheers. Mm-hmm.